Okay, so welcome. This is just a short little introductory flow for anyone who's new to yoga or maybe returned from injury or illness or pregnancy and is looking to get back into some regular practice. Okay, so finding a nice comfortable cross-leg position. Start with your legs crossed. If you're sitting on a block, it just helps to kind of lift your hips up a little higher, just gives you a bit more space in the hips and can be quite nice, particularly if you're a little bit sort of restricted around those hip areas. So using a yoga block or even a big thick book can be a really nice way just to sit and find a slightly more comfortable cross-leg position. And just start by bringing your arms up and overhead, so bringing the arms all the way over, bringing the thumbs together and just lifting up a little taller, just relaxing the shoulders down and then bringing the hands all the way down into heart center. So you're bringing your thumbs up towards the sternum, just pressing the thumbs, the fingers, tips together, just creating that little bit of balance between the right and the left sides of the body. Allow the breath to come in, so taking a really slow, gentle inhale, inhaling all the way up. And then just take a big exhale as you bring the right hand down towards the floor. Take the left arm up and over, just stretching through the waist, keeping your hips where they are, but just lengthening through the sides of the body. Allowing the shoulders to soften, so it's just simply a creation of space between the ribs and the hips. And again, letting that breath guide you. So inhale as you come up and exhale as you take it over the other way. So again, nice and soft through the waist. Okay, again, allow the breath to sort of kind of pace you really. So you're slowing everything down by taking a really slow inhale. And then as you take that exhale, come all the way up and take a twist this time. So bring your right hand behind you, left hand over the top of your opposite knee, that right knee, and just look over your shoulder. Just taking a little swivel through the waist, through those shoulders. Again, the hips staying where it is. And you can just feel that belly button kind of pull back towards your spine. Ease it the other way, so take the left hand round, take the right arm over. Again, just looking over that left shoulder, really gently sort of swivel through the waist there. Okay, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, come back through center, bring the hands onto your knees and just roll back. So you're tucking your belly button in, you're tucking your tail under, you're sort of curving through the upper half of the body, rounding through those shoulders, and then drawing forward. So you're kind of pulling the chest forward, opening up those collarbones, pulling the shoulder blades a little bit closer, and again, rounding back, feeling that inhale, taking that big long breath out as you curl back, and inhale, bringing it forward. Lovely. Do that one more time. So round back. It's almost like a cat-cow that you would do when you were on all fours, but you're doing it sitting up. Lovely. Drag yourself over towards the right. So you're taking yourself over towards the right. Drag the chest across the shin bones all the way over to the left. Rolling through the spine. Again, bringing yourself forward. Really gently taking it left and all the way back round. We're just mobilizing our spine, mobilizing those hips a little bit. Okay, and then take it the other way. So over towards the right. Again, rounding back, tucking the belly, tucking the tailbone under, dragging yourself over to the left. Just sort of massaging out that spine. Brilliant. As you come back through center. Okay, take the arms up and over again. Take one more big breath in. And then just bring the hands around behind you. So tuck your fingertips in towards your sit bones and just draw the collarbones back. So you're lifting your heart up towards the sky, just softening the neck, softening those collarbones, bringing the elbows back. And then as we take a big exhale, we're going to hinge forward, okay? So we're going to just soften in those hips and allow ourselves to fold forward. So you're stretching out across your shin bones, letting your nose come down towards the floor, letting your chin come down towards the floor. And from here, we're going to just very slowly drag ourselves forward. So roll over your shins, over your ankles, and bring yourself onto all fours. So you're coming into that nice little tabletop position. Okay, so just adjust yourself. Just get your wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we'll do a couple of cat-cows, just as we did before when we're sitting down. But we'll drop the belly, we'll lift the collarbones. We're kind of letting our tailbone kind of lift up behind us. And then we're going to round the spine. So we're bringing the chin to the chest, tucking the tailbone under, pulling the belly in, pulling all the way up. Again, breathing in as you come forward. And exhaling all the way back. Now, all fours is a really good place to come if you don't really want to do any kind of downward facing dogs. If you feel that there's too much pressure through the wrists or through the hands, or you're sort of not quite got the upper body strength to hold a downward facing dog, coming onto all fours is a really nice way to modify. Okay, take one more round of cat-cow. So open up through the chest. And again, pull up through that cat position. Perfect. Keeping the knees on the floor, we're going to bend our elbows and let our chin come down towards the floor. So we're coming all the way down. So the chest and chin is lowering towards that floor. And then you're going to slide onto your belly. So you're coming onto your tummy. Bring the elbows under your shoulders. So you're lifting into what we call a Sphinx pose. And this is a nice soft back bend, okay? It's not a big back bend. It's just simply opening up the collarbones. You're soft in the lower spine. Your feet are flat on the floor and your legs are sort of relaxing against the floor. And you're just pulling the collarbones forward. From here, we're going to come into a child's pose, okay? So hands underneath your shin, underneath your shoulders. Push up onto your knees. Take the knees out nice and wide so you've got lots of space. And then just sink the hips back towards your heels. So you're coming into what we call child's pose. So nice and gentle. Coming all the way back into that child pose. And again, that's a really nice alternative to downward facing dog. So if you don't fancy doing downward facing dog, you can stay there in your child's pose. Lovely. Come back to all fours. Roll onto your knees. This time, tuck your toes under. Okay, we're going to lift our knees off the floor. So we're sort of hovering in a little variation on plank. And then we're going to lift our hips all the way up and back. So you're keeping the knees really soft, really bent, but you're simply lifting the tailbone up behind you, spreading the fingers out really wide so you get that lovely little bit of contact with the floor. It's all in the hands rather than all in the wrists. And then from there you can start to lengthen the legs. So you're starting to pedal the heels gently down towards the floor. Okay, just easing out the backs of the legs. And you can keep it really fluid. Some people like to stay in a downward facing dog and hold it still. Others tend to find actually, you need to keep it kind of quite fluid, quite movement, quite dynamic. So whatever feels best for you. But from here, we're going to walk ourselves all the way up towards the top of the mat. So one foot in front of the other. Just slowly come up towards the top of your mat. Bring the big toes together. Have your heels slightly apart. And again, if you need to bend your knees, just to kind of take the pressure away from the lower back, keep it really soft, and then we can roll up. We're going to stack our vertebrae one on top of the other, just slowly making our way up towards the sky. When you get here, you're in Tadasana, mountain pose, and we're going to extend from here. So we're going to bring the arms all the way up and over. Again, thumbs together. And from here, exhale, swan dive, hinge at the hips. Come all the way back down, so back into your forward fold. Again, keep the knees really soft. If you need to bend them quite a lot to get down, absolutely fine. Start to breathe in, bring the hands onto your shin bones, and just lengthen out through the spine. So draw the belly in, keep your spine really long. And then as you exhale back into that fold, all the way down. Good. From here, we're going to step back on our right leg. So our right leg extends all the way back to the end of our mat, or as far back towards the end of the mat as we can, and then lower the knee, bring it down. You can soften the foot, so lower the front of the foot down and come up from here, so really gentle into those hips. And again, if you're tight in your hips, you'll keep yourself quite upright. If you've got a little bit more softness, a bit more give in the hips, you might want to come down a little bit deeper. So just work with what feels good for you. And then from here, take the hands round. Let's open up our chest. So interlace those fingers and just draw the collarbones back. Nice and slowly. Lovely. Take a big breath in. Bring the arms up and over. We're going to land the hands either side of the foot. So bring the hands down. From here, tuck your back toe under. Lift your knee. So you're coming into that high lunge, or sort of low lunge even. And then that left leg is going to go all the way back. So step it back to meet the right. So you're back in your plank. Okay. Bring the knees to the floor. Okay. Bend the elbows. Let the chest and the chin come down towards the floor here. And again, slide forward onto your belly. Elbows come underneath those shoulders. And just peel the heart forward, coming into that Sphinx. Brilliant. Again, let's push back into child's pose. So come hands under the shoulders. Lift up Back onto those knees, take the knees wide, melt into those hips, melt in towards the heels, and just take a couple of breaths. Big round of breath in, and big round of breath out. Really soft out through the exhale. Do that one more time, breathing in, almost feel the whole kind of rib cage and diaphragm expand as you bring the breath into the body, and then slowly release. Good, again, tuck the toes under. We're going to come up into our down dog position. So coming back onto all fours, lift those knees. Again, you're drawing the belly button all the way back towards your spine, and then again, extending the hips up towards the sky, and slowly starting to press those legs down, those heels down into your downward facing dog. Okay, if you want to press the heels towards the floor so you kind of get a little bit of contact, that's fine. If the heels don't quite get there, that's completely normal. Just work into it as and when you know the heels will start to release. Let's walk forward again, so little steps. Bring yourself back up to the top of the mat. Again, big toes come to touch. Take the weight of the head forward. Just enjoy that nice soft fold. And again, roll up really slowly. Come up towards the sky. Take the arms over, big breath in. And this time, let's just swan dive straight back down. So coming forward, hinging at those hips, allowing the forehead and the crown of the head to come down towards the floor. Okay, allow the breath to lift the heart, lift the chest. Hands are on those shins. And then left leg this time is going to take itself all the way back. So big step as you can muster. Bring the knee down. Again, just soften the front of the foot. And come up. Okay, just spend a little bit of time here. Again, if those arms are up, chances are you're sort of lifting up into your shoulders, in towards your ears, but just soften, relax. Let the neck have plenty of space. Again, take the hands behind you. Press the palms together, just open up those collarbones. Release the front of the body. Inhale. Okay, and again, exhale, land the hands either side of the foot. Good, lift up your knee. And again, step back, find that high plank. Okay, we're modifying, so we're going to bring the knees down. Again, it's the chest that comes down, so you're keeping those hips off the floor, the chin's just hovering off the floor. And then slide the belly forward, slide the chest forward, come into that bend. Brilliant. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. Push all the way back. Again, just take a couple of breaths in your child's pose. If you prefer to kind of come straight up to a down dog, then you can do that if you're kind of ready for a little bit more movement. But when you're ready, we will meet in a downward facing dog. We'll come all the way back up, sinking into those heels. Again, the chest is open, so you're kind of drawing the chest back towards the thighs. Those fingertips are turning up towards the corners of your mat. It just gives you a bit more space in the shoulders. And you get a lovely little bit of pressure through those fingertips, especially if the wrists are feeling it more. You don't want to hang in those wrists. You want to try and sort of distribute the weight really evenly through the hands. Okay, again, let's walk forward. Bring ourselves back up. Lovely, feet together. Again, just fold nice and soft and roll up. Okay, lovely, breathing in. Bring the arms up. Look towards the thumbs and then folding forward again. Come all the way back down. Wonderful. We're just going to add on a couple little standing postures, okay? So as you look forward, bring the hands onto the shins. Take a nice long flat back. Now keeping the right leg where, keeping the right leg where it is. Step up back on the left leg. Okay, we're going to come into a warrior two, all right? So we're going to take that left leg back. You're going to land the heel. So you're turning the heel flat to the floor. And then the heel of your front foot and the arch of your back foot sort of line themselves up along your mat. So you're coming into that warrior two. And your knee, this front knee, is just above the ankle. You'll tend to find it wants to kind of droop inwards. But if you draw it back and squeeze your bottom, it will just help to keep that knee just above the ankle there. And then bring the arms up. Okay, this is your warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. The shoulders are soft. Again, you're long through the neck and your spine is kind of nice and symmetrical, nice and sort of plumb lined. It's like that back arm is kind of pulling to remind you not to lean too far forward and not to lean too far back. It's just keeping nice and straight. Okay, we're going to turn our palms to the sky and together breathe in, bring the arms up, straighten out that front leg. And then exhale, bring it back down. Do that one more time. We're going to straighten out that leg, lifting up, and then coming back down. Brilliant. This time we're going to bring the forearm onto the thigh. Okay, and you're just using it there like a little bit of a scaffolding pole. You're not sort of taking all your weight in that arm. If it was to disappear, you can still hold yourself there, so the core is engaged. But you're just lifting that left arm over. So you get a lovely long line all the way from the little toe to the little finger. So your Parshva Konasana, your extended side angle, bringing yourself up. Brilliant. Take another breath in. And then gently bring it back into warrior. Straighten out that leg. And we'll do the same on the other side. So turn that right foot round. Turn the left toe towards the back of your mat now. Okay. Again, you're lining up that arch with the heel of the front foot. That knee bends. You've got the knee just above the ankle. Arms are out long. And again, you're just keeping the hips sort of where they are. If you can go a little deeper as those hips start to soften, find a bit more space. Lovely. Again, turn both palms towards the sky. As you take that breath in, bring the arms overhead. And then exhale. Come back down. Good. Do that one more time. Lift. And exhale. Lower. Fabulous. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Take that right arm this time all the way over, so you're going long through the waist. Those hips are staying where they are. And that outer edge of your little toe is kind of really pressing to the floor, keeping the side of the body nice and controlled. Lovely. Breathe in. Lovely. Come all the way up, warrior two. Straighten that left leg. And we're going to go back to the front of the mat again. So turning that right toe back to where it was. This time bring the heel, the back foot in just slightly, maybe a couple of centimetres at best. Because we're going to go into triangle pose. So very similar to warrior in that you've got the same foot alignment. But this time your right leg is straight. You're not locking it out. You've still got a little bit of a give there. But this time you're extending through the waist. And then your hand is going to come down towards your shin or towards your ankle. And that top arm is lifting towards the sky. So this is just a really nice sort of opener for the hips, through the waist, through the side of the body. And if the neck doesn't like looking up, you can look down. So look down towards the big toe. Again, slow on the breath. So trying to really lengthen out the exhale. Really an inhale. And take a long exhale as you look down. On the next breath in, lift that top arm so it pulls you up and out of your triangle. And just take a little reverse triangle. So opening up through the side of the body. Brilliant. Let's do the same on the other side. So turning the feet round again. Okay. Left leg faces the back of the mat. Again, we are lining up our ankle towards our arch. That left arm this time travels just beyond your toe. You're keeping the sides of the body really long if you can. And then you're keeping that hand, or sort of letting that hand rest either to the shin or down towards the ankle there. And again, look up. Feel that space. You can kind of feel the shoulder blades drawing together. And remember, if the neck wants to look down, just soften it. Take the pressure away. Keep the neck protected. Lovely. Again, inhale, come all the way up. Take a little reverse triangle. Brilliant. Come all the way back. Fab. And then step those feet together. Bring them all the way up. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. And we're going to just have a little play in tree pose. We're going to do a couple of little balances. Okay, so taking your weight onto your right leg. Just take the left foot and bring it in by your ankle. So you can either keep the foot sort of down on the ankle so that the big toe stays connected to the floor. Or you can maybe bring it up a little bit higher, or even above the knee if that feels better for you. But just visualize your foot as like a square or a kind of rectangle shape, and every corner is just anchoring itself down towards the floor. And just think about taking the weight and sort of distributing it through all four corners. If your feet are kind of, your toes are really kind of scrunching into the floor, just try and take the weight back a little bit maybe, or even to the edges of the feet. So you can feel all the little proprioceptors in your ankles working together. Wonderful. See if you can draw that knee in. Just give yourself a little hug. Maybe bring the knee all the way up. And then try it on the other side. So we're lowering that left foot. Take the other sole of the foot, so your right sole of the foot, onto the ankle. Again, maybe if the balance isn't quite there, you can keep the toe on the floor, or just bring it up underneath your knee. Okay. And again, just imagining that foot as that little square or rectangle. And just trying to take your weight evenly through the foot. And again, take one more inhale. And again, just bring the knee in. Lift it all the way up. Give it a little squeeze. And lower that foot all the way back down. Brilliant. Give yourself a little wiggle. A little shuffle in those legs. Okay, come up, back up to the top of your mat, okay? So bring the big toes together. Take a big breath in as you lift the heart, lift the chest. Hands together. And then fold, swan dive all the way back down again. Okay, come back into that fold. And this time just hang for me. Just let the weight of the head pull you forward. You might even want to take your feet a little bit further apart if that feels comfortable. But just soften the knees, bend the elbows. Let the weight of the head just kind of drag you forward. And just take a little sway, side to side. Just softening out through the lower back. Perfect. Let the hands come all the way down onto the floor. And again, step back. Take the right leg all the way back. And then let the left leg follow. So come into that plank position. Okay, we won't stay here for too long because if your arms are not quite so used to holding a plank, you don't want them to get too tired, but just zip the belly in, lower those knees. Okay, chest, chin comes all the way down. Again, keeping those hips slightly lifted, and then slide onto your belly. Okay, we're in a Sphinx. We're going to move into what we call Shalabhasana, which is just a little bit more of a back bend. So you're going to open up through the shoulders a little bit more. And again, I'll give you the option. You can sort of take it a little bit deeper if you want to, or just keep it quite sort of shallow in terms of your bend. But when you come down, take the hands all the way around behind you, so you're interlacing behind your back. And you're going to press the palms together and lift the collarbones off the floor. So you're coming up into that little back bend. Okay, if you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can lift the legs as well. So you're squeezing your bottom and lifting your legs off the floor. And it just brings a little bit of intensity into the lower back. Okay, keep that breath coming in, nice soft breath in. Big exhale, lower everything down. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push back onto your knees, come into child's pose. And this time, wrap the arms around beside you. So take them all the way around, maybe even hold on to the feet. But if you don't like that feeling of having your head quite so low to the floor, just bring your hands into two fists and just let yourself rest. Nice and slowly there. Okay, perfect. Come all the way up to sitting. Cross at the ankles. Roll yourselves back. Okay, and to finish off, we're going to go into a little Baddha Konasana, a little butterfly pose. All right, so bring the soles of the feet together. Okay, so you've got the soles of the feet, toes all coming together. You've got a bit of space between the hips and the sit bones, or the heels and the sit bones, should I say. And you're going to keep your spine as long as you can, and then just hinge forward. So if you find that your elbows sort of naturally rest on the thighs, that's fine. But you're keeping the spine as long as possible. If you start to round forward, then you know that your spine's doing the work rather than your hips. So just keep the hips really soft, but just bring the heart forward. Very gently bring it back up. Keep one foot in with you and take the other leg out to the side. Okay, we're going to go back into that little side bend that we were doing at the beginning, but this time the leg is long. So reaching down the inside of the foot or towards the ankle, bring the opposite arm up and over. So just release through the waist. Breathe in as you come up. And then change it over. So take the other leg in and then take the opposite leg back out. Okay, so going the other way, other side. Again, just stretch down the inside of that thigh, in all the way to the calf, all the way to the ankle. And again, soft through the waist. Fabulous. Breathe in. We'll do our butterfly pose one more time, okay? So bring the soles of the feet in together. And again, this time you are going to round forward. So if you do want to open your feet up like a bit of a book and bring your forehead or the crown of the head down, you can just simply roll forward. So you're curving into that open book and round yourself into that fold. Lovely. Perfect. Come all the way back up. Okay. And then from here we're going to come into Shavasana, so our relaxation pose. So just rolling yourselves back flat on the spine. Okay, take your feet out a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your palms to face towards the sky. Take the arms out as wide as you like, as wide as feels comfortable. And just enjoy a little bit of relaxation. Just letting the body soften into the floor. Long, slow breath out.